Hello everybody and welcome back. It's Creative Redundancy back again, but you may just call me CR. Besides, you don't get creative without CR. Just kidding. Anyways, this live stream is gonna be about creativity and creating chit chat. Now, creating is something we can all do, no matter who you are, your age, gender, or race. From something very small to something very big, from something simple to something more complex. Now, CR, as CR here, I truly believe anyone can create. Now, what you create can vary, but remember, creating something good or positive can lead to something more. So I want to welcome people that are dropping in. Michael Skinner, hello. Thank you for taking the time to drop in. I appreciate it. Just give me a sec here. Just loading up the chat here. Gotta minimize some of these windows I got here. Oh, come on. What's up, Royce? Oh, you're actually not driving this time, hey, Royce? Usually you're driving. Anyways, let's whip up the intro here. Boom! Here I am. Look. Yeah. I figure I might as well make something, create something of an intro. Woo! What's up, everybody? Hopefully everyone's doing okay. Let me load up this chat window here. So yes, I'm going to talk about creativity and creating. Now this is actually not per se my usual type of creation mode, but I decided to talk about creativity as a whole. Perhaps share some insight why I do it. Why is CR always in this creation mode? At least 90% of the time. Sup, Kirk? Kirk Miller in the house. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you for dropping by. Alright, Roland. Have fun pumping the iron. Here. Boom, boom, boom. You know, seeing your comment right there, Rose, reminds me. Creativity, like, exercising is a physical thing to increase your physical endurance, physical form. I see creativity as a way to increase your mental form, if that makes sense. As a wise teacher once said to me, if creativity was a math form or math equation, it'd be 1 plus 1 equals 11. Just because you take one thing, let's say stick, piece of tissue, you're probably like, oh, you can only make what, 2 things with this, maybe 3 things. Nah, when I see something like this, I'm like, there's more than what I can just see. Sometimes it takes that little bit of outside the box thinking, something where you would consider be like, oh, that's way too out of the box. There's no way that would happen. No way that would work. Well, until you try creating it, seeing it, you never know. Because until you create something, sometimes you don't know how great it could be. Just because in your head you're thinking, this ain't gonna add up to much. What I'm gonna create, it's not gonna be much. Perhaps, but it could be a stepping stone towards something better. Maybe it's very simple, whatever it is. But the thing is, because you've created it, or sometimes, or per se, recreated it, you can do it again and again, do it faster. Maybe even, per se, adapt ideas from previous creation mode, whatever it is. That's basically about survival, making survival kits. Maybe not, per se, something like homesteading type of things, like making a garden, planting, making a flower arrangement. Maybe not something as per se like making a survival kit. This is reading what you guys are talking about. What's up, Matthew? Hello, Virginia. Hi. So, because I've gotten kind of comments here and there from people where, let's say, something similar along the lines like, oh, I wish I was as creative as you, man. You're always so creative. I wasn't born that way. I had to learn things. Learn things from school, work, even other people, other channels. Kind of even adapt things, concepts, whatever it is, and just be like, hey, let's take concept A, B, C here. Let's just randomly try to combine it with concept X, Y, Z here. Have I ever tried it? No. Have I seen anyone try it? Maybe not. But it doesn't mean that it can't go together. It might be something as, silly as trying to combine apples and oranges. Or something as taking something like lemons, per se, and making lemonade. Hello, The Real Love Festival. Hi, Yankees Outdoor Adventures. Hi, guys. Thank you for taking the time to drop in, man. I appreciate it very much, so. Hello, Kaylin. Hi. Just Marie, what's up? Oh, it's raining there, Kaylin? I wish I could just pass you an umbrella through the camera here. Thank you, thank you. I'm doing alright, The Real. Thank you for taking the time to drop in. I appreciate it very much, so. So, yeah. Creativity. Creating. Now, like I said, I'm not actually in creation mode. Well, it's not actually creation mode. That'll be different video, different live stream again. This is more about talking about creating or creativity as a whole. Like I said, people have said to me, oh, CR, I wish I was as creative as you. I'm like, you can be. Like I said earlier and I wrote in the description, I truly believe anyone can create. Now, what you create is not very, it's up to you what you can create. But as a species or society, I think people need to create more. Go through the process of creating. Because I truly believe it can help a person out. Consider things. Because when you create, you gotta think of stuff. You're just kind of looking at it, maybe whatever it is. I don't know. It doesn't really matter. Let's say I'm just gonna bring examples, so nothing's very specific. But here's a stick right here, or whatever, right? Sometimes when I'm creating stuff, I'm just like, I feel it, sometimes smell it, touch it. Well, I won't say per se taste it, but and just think, is there something I can create with this? And sometimes I'm like, maybe it doesn't come to mind right away, but then there's other times where I'm thinking of something totally unrelated, totally not even, I wouldn't even consider it as per se associated or similar to what XYZ item is right here, but I'll be like, oh, wait a second, why didn't I think of this before? And you kind of get that epiphany, sudden realization, where you're like, hey, wait a second, this could go. Then you start thinking about it, and it's like you're not stuck in this kind of rut or circle, and you're thinking outside the circle or outside the box a little bit more, where you're like, hey, this could work, let's make up a prototype, Mark 1, version 1, and maybe even that version 1, that Mark 1, maybe it's not the greatest, but because you created that in the first place, you can do it again, and maybe your second version, your updates, your revisions on it become even better, where you're like, now you're starting to pull experience from here, resources from here, instead of using, like, let's say, hot glue, for example, to stick something together. You decide, hey, I'm gonna change it up. I'm gonna try using super adhesive, super glue instead. Pine sap, for example, and see, and you're just like, hey, this is turning out even better than I thought. Wow, I didn't think I could do this. Then I'm like, hey, this is awesome. Anyways, I had the chat off to the side, so I was seeing what you guys are right. Can you create? Can man create a world? Hello, Corey Survival. Thanks for dropping in. I appreciate it, man. Just reading what you guys are saying real quick here. Hey, sometimes it's not. Sometimes we're rehashing something to real. Sometimes, but sometimes you kind of think outside the box and do something that maybe someone or yourself didn't consider. Now, sometimes these ideas, others have considered it, but you're putting your own twist on it. So maybe I'm trying to think of an example here where you're taking ABC idea ABC, and someone's already created this concept already, but you have different materials or resources, and you're just like, hey, and you realize, hey, I can actually make this with this too. So I'm gonna give an example here. Which I just had. I just had the example. I know I did. Something I just came up with today too, which I can't seem to find right now for some reason. Yeah, I guess I should drink some more coffee. Yep. I thought I had it. Well, anyways, I'll bring it out as soon as I find it here. Just gonna read more of your guys' comments here. Real quick while I look for it. Let's see, what Yankee's saying there? Oh yeah, we are all creators. Built in the image of the master creator. Yes. Sometimes I consider, think that I was born to create. To a certain degree. Sup, Corey? Yeah. Let's see. Cool. Just reading what you guys are writing real quick. Awesome to real. Yeah, of course, Corey. Of course, you've been very supportive on the channel. So, I'm glad. I feel not obligated, but I want to make you a channel moderator. I appreciate your support very much so. Ah, hey Yankee, why not? Why not? Just for you, man. Just for you, buddy. Just for you. I figure might as well look good with you too, right? Blue looks good for you too, Yankee. And it's okay, Corey. Now, most of the time I can just moderate on my own, but I don't mind having some moderators here and there. Besides, the channel might get so big that I'm gonna need some moderators in the future anyway, so. Oh, no problems, Corey. No problem, man. Like I said, you're just not awesome. And of course, I've enjoyed your videos too. So, anyways, I'm getting off topic of the creation or creating. Oh, come on. So, yeah. Creating, I see it like in a nutshell for me is a way of putting forth something positive, something I can do, make. Maybe it's tangible, like a physical object, like a survival kit, but it could be something more not so tangible, like a theory or an idea where I'm just like, yeah, okay, this could work. This could work. Still have to try it out. But sometimes until you try something, create it, you never know. You never know. Don't assume that just because you can't test it or create it yet doesn't mean that it can't exist. I mean, think of all these, I mean, inventors of the past, all these creators of the past, from, famous inventors, like, let's say someone like Thomas Edison. I mean, he created, like, let's see, the incandescent light bulb, for example. Now, for him, I've actually actually watched a documentary on it, and, and just like me, I've failed before. The first time he was trying to create the light bulb, it failed. It didn't work. But because he took the time to create it, to make a version 1, Mark 1, trial, a tester, he started to learn more from it, understand it more, where he eventually came up with, what's it called, tungsten, I think, or something like that. Something so it would actually work. But it didn't just come out of nowhere. It just didn't. He had to work at it a little. Sometimes, some of these creations, sometimes they just work itself. But then there's other times where you get to work hard at it. It's just like some of these YouTube channels, mine included. you know, I created it, obviously. But it didn't just boom overnight become a great sensation. I had to work hard at it. I had to work, create the videos for it, obviously. Create the live streams for it. Create something different, a different approach where I'm doing whatever, right? I'm like writing something and showing something, including writing stuff down and saying hello to people, introducing myself, getting my name out there. Actually, that's not my name. Obviously, I'm not known as hello. But you guys kind of can understand where I'm coming from on that. Let's have to erase this here. Just not see what you guys are talking about for a quick sec here. Hello, FLP. I want to welcome Fingerweight Prepper into the house here. Thank you for taking the time to drop in. And good afternoon to you too. Oh yeah, of course. The real Tesla. Yeah, I can't forget someone like that. There's all sorts of mentors from the past. From, let's say, maybe they either created something, concept or a theory. Someone like, let's say, I'm trying to remember the name. Isaac Newton, for example, all the way to someone that created something more physical or tangible, where you could see it or smell it or whatever, like, let's say, Galileo, for example, or Thomas Edison, where they created something more tangible, even something useful, where they didn't see the big picture at first, but they were just like, they just pushed forward, made a Mark 1, made a version 1, improved on it substantially to version 2, and then they just saw how this one creation, XYZ creation, just changed the whole thing, where people are like, oh wow, I'm glad you made this light bulb. Now I can at nighttime, now I can see my front steps or something like that. Something arbitrary like that. I'm just reading what you guys are writing real quick. I'm just reading what Yankee said right here. Yes, you got a question for me? Is any idea truly original? Can anyone claim it to be the owner of an idea? Maybe not necessarily. I mean, just because you search for it online or on YouTube or whatever, I don't see info about it, does not necessarily mean it's original. Because someone else could have did it. They just didn't kind of, per se, release or shared it. But regardless if it's original or not, you're going through the process of creating. And maybe you're kind of rehashing something. Maybe you're taking concepts or ideas from, like, or people or whatever. But that's what makes us unique. We're able to take these ideas, combine them together, where X plus Y equals Z to the power of 10. Or in my case, creation mode to the power of 10. Oh yeah, the songwriters, yeah. I'm just reading what you guys are writing, saying real quick. That's a hard question. Well, about the songwriting, sometimes it's just like taking bits and pieces and putting it together. Maybe it's not totally original, but these things that came together are original in that way. Like the subsets of like the lyrics might not be like you're saying this XYZ type of saying in there. You know, maybe that per se is not original, but putting it together in the first place, where someone didn't think about it, no one's thought about it, and that could be original, I guess. Yeah, yeah, true. Very true, FLP. We're, we're, me, you guys, anyone that's created, we're all on top of the shoulders of very people that created. Yeah, exactly. So it's more like, who turns the idea into something more tangible. Where, like some sort of theory or an idea that may have existed from before, but we had to wait for kind of technology or advancements to kind of come to pass, where now you can physically see it as a tangible item that you could smell, see, or maybe hear or taste. Even a recipe, food. I see that as kind of creating. A lot of those things, creating a food, recipes, and stuff like that, sometimes they're not totally original, but the idea of just bringing it together might be more original than you realize. I mean, I made an omelet. I have an omelet video where I used crushed almonds. Have I ever did that? No. Have I ever heard it? No. Is it original? Probably not. Pretty sure someone's added nuts to an omelet. But that's just me. What's up? What's up, Nathaniel? Nathaniel Adventures in the house. Welcome, man. I'm just reading what you guys are saying. You guys are saying hi, teacher. I'm just trying to make. I'm missing. Sorry, I keep scrolling down too far here. Maybe I should have put the slow mo on for this one. Oh yeah. They're you. I know some of you guys. I know you guys, but some of you might not know each other. So if you want to support each other, check out each other's content. Maybe learn some more. That'd be awesome. I know Yankee. Oh, I just don't know what to say. Maybe I just say in a nutshell. I just create a lot. I might just say it all actually. Maybe I'll just use that Yankee. That just seems to sum it up sometimes for me. When people ask, "What's your channel about?" I'm like, "Well, I create a lot." What I create, well, that can vary. It's not always per se a survival hit. Sometimes it's food. Sometimes it's something else. But I'm just reading what you guys are saying. You guys are all just talking about rain. We're not getting rain here until the weekend here, personally. It's sunny out here. What? 86, 87 Fahrenheit, plus 30, plus 31 Celsius here. Rain, well, actually, pretty sure no one knows Celsius. Oh, maybe actually the real does. I know some of you are from the US, so you only know Fahrenheit, so. I'm just reading what everyone says. Yeah, exactly. A chef is a creator. He creates a dish where you're creating garnish, and you're putting some garnish on, maybe taking some sort of, I don't know, fruit or whatever, and making, um, what's that called? a design in it, shaping it into a different shape, or some person sees it and it's like, oh, looks so cool, it looks so appetizing, it looks cool too, and appealing to the eye, smells good, looks cool, lots of colors, for example. Can someone create something from nothing? I'm not get back to that. I'm not get back to that, the real, because I don't want to get too in depth with that too much, because I could go on and on about that. I don't want to dig out the BBT here. Let's see. So yeah, everyone's just talking about rain. Lots of rain, I guess. I guess Mother Nature's creating a lot of rain. Ah, see, finally someone's saying about the sun. Yay, the real's got some sun, like here. I always knew that it can get sunny out in Europe. It's not always raining there. Hello, Lindy Love. Hi, thank you for dropping in, taking the time to come in. I appreciate it very much so. As little or as much time as anyone can stay, that's awesome. I know everyone's busy. Everyone's always got stuff to do too. Oh, Yankee, maybe you should just try to, like, search for CR. Or creative. Or that. Or, yeah, well, creativity. I've added those onto the tags lately. Creation mode. For the most part, I've added them on. Hello, little Miss Psycho. Hello, thank you for dropping in. Yes, I do remember you. Hello, Plymouth. Oh, geez. I'm losing my spot on the chat here. At this rate, I might as well put on the slow-mo because I can't. I'm honestly, like, not catching up here. So I'm just gonna try to get this down to the bottom of the page. Hello, Little Miss Psycho, Wendy Love. Hi, Plymouth, man. Of course, you're always welcome. Everybody's welcome to join and participate in the creation mode with me. I don't want to be the only one creating. I mean, sometimes I see other people that are creating stuff, and it makes me feel like, hey, you know what? I've never tried this before. You know, it doesn't look that hard. Maybe I can do this. Now, something I will relate it to a survival type of thing. Well, yeah, to a certain degree. Let's say friction fire. Have I ever done that? No, I haven't. Have I seen videos? Of course. But I wanted to try it out myself. Create a set of my own. You know, is it ready yet? Maybe not. Is it still pretty much version 1? Yeah. But because I created it, or attempted at least, I feel like I can do it again. And I'm understanding it more. That's why I like this being in creation mode. Because it allows me to understand things better. Know things better. Know how, let's say, a stapler, for example, works better. Not better. How this works. Understanding the mechanics behind it, where staples and, you know, all this stuff. Because sometimes when you start to create stuff, understand about stuff, it might help you later on. You might not even see it or remember it at first, but a problem arises where you're like, oh man, this is an issue. This XYZ is an issue. I can't, I gotta figure out something to help make this easier, faster, simpler, less painful, or whatever, less effort, less energy used. Where you're taking some of that knowledge or experience from the past of something you did, maybe seen, and applying it to that problem and be like, hey, this could work. Have I tried it? No. But let's create this. Now, I'm going to give an example here of something where I've done. I was helping someone sand down the deck. Now, they had those belt sanders and stuff like that. I think I might have told this story before. Now, have I ever seen anything what I did? No. Do I think it's original? It could be. I don't know. But basically, there was a belt sander. We were doing it the night before, and we had, like, a belt sander goes one way. Now, of course, on the deck, you gotta apply enough pressure so you can sand down the deck, because we were trying to paint it after, right? Because you gotta remove the excess paint before you start painting again. Now, the night before, this is where the problem arises. It was annoying because you gotta push down, and you gotta apply enough pressure. We had to be on hands or knees or pushing down and stuff like that, and it was hard to keep it in control, and it would always kick forward, for example, because the rotation of the belt. And we did half the deck before it got kind of too late. It's kind of getting that dusk period dawn, nighttime period where we had to just call it quits, and it's 10 o'clock. We didn't want to have power tools running at that late, for the sake of being respectful in the neighborhood. Now, something I created back, I should have actually brought it in, but a while ago, where it was totally separate thing. Basically, what I made before, which I didn't even think of. It wasn't supposed to help with this problem, but something I made before, where I just took something that had wheels. I basically made a little cart from it. Well, that creation, which I didn't even think would help in this situation, basically it was a cart with wheels. So, here's the Sharpie right here. Platform of some sort with wheels. Now, these wheels were reclaimed from something else here. Some bunk beds or whatever that I acquired. Some wheels, like caster wheels. Or coaster. No, not coasters. Yeah, casters. Now, basically, in a nutshell, it allowed me just to sit down, apply pressure downwards for this belt sander on this deck so I can sand the deck, and because the rotation went forward, all I had to do, because I was sitting down, I was more comfortable, no sore back, my knees aren't aching because I'm on my hands and knees. I was in a nice comfortable sitting position, and because of the rotation forward, I could apply pressure downwards to sand the deck, and all I had to do was lift up my feet a little, and the belt would bring me to a new part of the deck that I had to sand, and I just put my feet back down because the rotation helped me go forward, and because I had the wheels on these casters, it allowed me to slide to the next spot on the deck, and basically, in the same amount the same amount of deck that I still had to do, that are half of it, I did it in less than half the time, without anyone's help, no fatigue or anything. No. That's just a story. Anyways, I want to get that out of the way. Hello, JSam. Thank you for dropping in. Why is it talking about rain? Everyone's just talking about rain this, rain that. Sheesh. Oh yeah, of course it snows a lot here in Canada. Pretty obvious. So I'm just reading what you guys are writing. Oh, I'm skipping ahead too far. Hold on. You guys gotta bear with me. I am trying to catch up to the chat here. Let's see. Because I keep scrolling it down too far. It's, da, da, da. Well, Yankee, about that, I've searched for my channel name, so you know I can write something in real quick, just so everyone can see that kind of thing. Click on the three dots and go to the channel kind of thing. Let's see. Oh yeah, that's awesome, Nathaniel. We're working on some solar video. Oh yeah, I think I've tried that before. It's a little different. Oh, you forgot to charge your phone. Oh yeah. I know what you mean. Sometimes I'm just like, I should have charged up the phone or MP3 player or camera beforehand before shooting. You're just like blink, 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 and you're like, come on, make it to the end. I gotta make my outro here. Where it just cuts out and you're just like, now I gotta let it charge a little bit just to finish the last 5 minutes of it. Or you done some sort of procedure or whatever, you're like, now I can't, it's all or none. Where if you get cut off or whatever, you gotta do it again. Because, yeah. Anyways. Yeah. Poor Wendy. Sorry you got a headache. Hopefully you can feel a little bit better today. Oh, it's okay, Yankee. It's okay, man. I understand. It's just the technology. Maybe, or whatever, right? Or the electronics. You're here now. That's what matters. That's what matters. At least you found me now. Oh, thank you, Wendy, for the thumbs up. Thank you. Oh, that's awesome, Nathaniel. You like all the friction fires? That's cool. Blow drill, pump, drill, fire roll. That's cool. Yeah, Jason, that's the way. That's another way to do with power tools. All right. I keep scrolling too far down. Oh, you never tried friction fire before, Caitlin? Oh. Well, Caitlin, I know the pump. You can actually, if you actually stood up the spindle, for example, much taller, where you don't actually have to, where in a can do it in a standing position, you might be able to do it with just going like this, without having to bend your knees, for example. I mean, it's possible. I could see that being possible. Like something as per se tall, like a broom handle. I've seen people do friction fires with broom handles, stuff like that. Some of the bigger channels and stuff. Corey Serravo's gonna have some fun at a party. Dang, that's awesome, man. Take care, man. I appreciate you taking the time to drop in. You probably already gone already, but it's cool. I'm coming up to the. Oh wait, I think I'm at the bottom. Yeah, I'm finally at the bottom here. The PVC version, Jace. Okay. Hello, Mountain Survival. Hey, man. Thank you for dropping in and taking the time to drop in. I appreciate it very much. So, I'm doing all right. Like I said, I've just been talking about creativity, and I'll say it again and again, and probably again and again. But I truly believe anyone, you guys, not just you guys, your family members, your friends, people you know, can create. It's I truly believe it's in our blood, in our DNA to like create. Now, what you create is up to you. What you create might vary. Hopefully you're creating something positive, something good. Like, it's easy to create that other stuff, but it takes something more to create something good and positive, I think. But that's just me. Okay, that's... Oh. Oops. These stupid notifications keep popping up on my bottom right-hand corner. I always hate that. Don't you guys hate that? You're trying to click on something and right where you're about to click, something else pops up, and then because it's some sort of link or whatever, it pops up and you're like, oh, really? All those times. Oh, okay. Alright, I guess I'm back down to the bottom again. Alright, well, I'll probably go another 10 minutes for this one. I just kind of wanted to say my kind of piece about creativity and creating. And of course, thank everyone that's been dropping by the live streams, channel supporting, through either showing up on the live stream, increasing the view count, increasing the number on that red box thing, right? But I really appreciate the channel support of leaving these awesome comments where I feel like I know you guys took the time to think about what to say. And sometimes they're not even really long, like a paragraph or whatever. Sometimes it's quick 2 or 3 sentences where I know you took the time to create that, to write that. So thank you very much. Awesome, awesome. So yeah, oh, jeez, I gotta stop like scrolling down here. So I left a link in the description about something you can read. I actually was reading it right before starting the live stream. It was very informative. Just kind of reminded me, I mean, about, not per se everyone's smart, you know. You might not be as smart in certain areas, but you might be have more knowledge in a different area. Maybe you don't know this kind of, let's say, electronics or tech. Hey, but you might be very knowledgeable and per se smart in this field, like survival or this bushcrafting or homesteading. But it doesn't necessarily mean that you can't get into it, get better at it, if that makes sense. So let's see here. Thank you for taking the time to drop in, Nathaniel. I appreciate it very much. Peace out, Nate. Just making sure I didn't miss anything in there. Okay. Well, yeah. Jeez. And we humans are tool makers. I just want to say sometimes one of the bigger limitations in creating for me is it's not the idea or the concept. It's just simply because I do not have the right tools for it at the moment. Let's say like a leaf or something like that. I'd be like, hey, if I had something like that, obviously I can create a lot more. But just because you don't have something doesn't mean you can't make something a little bit more primitive. It might not be as awesome, or you might not be able to make it as in the scale that you want it to, but you're making it in a different scale, maybe even a small scale, where you're starting to understand it more and be like, hey, I can do this or that. So I'm going to bring this as an example here. No, I wish I had a leaf to make this with, but I understood it just from doing it in a small scale, where, hey, if I ever got something, a tool like that, I'd be like, hey, I kind of understand it a little bit more, where I'd be like, I've done something like this in a small scale. Let's see if it transfers to this bigger scale or larger scale. So I guess I'll go for another like 9 minutes, 8-9 minutes. So I guess the next 5 minutes here, if anyone wants to ask something, specifically more about creating or creativity, feel free. I kind of more or less said what I wanted to say for this. Yeah, exactly. We are just more of a piece of a puzzle. Yeah, exactly. I remember my wife, my friend said one time about a puzzle. When I'm creating, and you're getting that kind of sudden realization, epiphany, where you're just like, it just clues into you for however reason. Maybe you saw something, maybe someone said something, or just out of nowhere, you're just thinking about something else, or you're just like, hey, wait a second. I think I just found the last piece of the jigsaw puzzle for this. And you're just like, you know, that I like that feeling, because you're just like, it feels so good, because you're just like, I can finally finish this. I finally found the last piece of the jigsaw puzzle, metaphorically speaking, where, hey, I can, this, let's say, survival kit or whatever, be like, oh, hey, look at this. I just made it complete now. It's almost perfect. For example. Thank you, FLP. I appreciate your channel support very much, so I'll catch you on your live stream as soon as I can. Yes, and good afternoon to you too. Take care, FLP. Yes, revelation. Yes, exactly. Sometimes I like to be in creation mode just because I like that feeling of where you're like this epiphany, and you're just like sudden realization, revelation, where you're just like, it just blows your mind, because it's just like, oh my gosh, this is awesome. I can't believe, maybe I didn't per se come up with the original idea, or came up with it, or the first person to do it, but for me it feels like, hey, now I know this. I know I can do this. I know I can create this XYZ concept or ABC idea. And I'm like, and for that reason alone, I enjoyed the creation mode. So I guess I'll give about a 3 to 4 minute live stream end warning here. Kind of like pull, 1 minute left in regulation in like hockey terms, or 2 minute warning in football terms, that kind of deal. So I guess I'm gonna give a 3 minute, 4 minute live stream warning before I end it, so everyone can say bye and stuff like that. And knowing my luck, someone will probably jump in the last 2 minutes here, because it always happens. Somehow, someone always comes in at the last second. So No. I'm gonna give another story here about something. Of course, I didn't come up with this idea. I was just thinking of something from a friend of mine showing me some kind of ink or whatever that you put on like windows and stuff like that. And people were saying to me how me writing channel names on stuff and welcoming people was such an awesome idea. I'm like, oh hell, I wish I came up with it. More like my friend came up with it, kind of deal. Or I get the idea based on something I saw. Where now I'm doing it all the time. So of course, might as well write thank you here. So I want to say special thank you to everyone that's been dropping by the live streams, channel supporting. You guys make it worthwhile. Make it feel like, hey, I want to share these ideas, these concepts, this creativity that I have with you guys. Maybe, you know, uh, jumpstart or spark up your interest in creating something. Whatever it is. I don't, you know, whatever it is. Maybe it's a different recipe. Changing up the recipe. Maybe it's a survival kit. Maybe it's a bushcrafting type of kit. Maybe it's a first aid kit. Maybe it's a fire kit. Maybe it's, hey, I'm gonna try out a friction fire set for the first time. Why not? You know, whatever it is. Maybe making a new organization idea, taking an organization idea. Maybe creating something to help you problem solve an issue that you've been having, or where you're like, hey, my closet's messy. Let's, see ourselves maybe to create something, create a solution, all that stuff. Hello, Gray. I knew someone would drop in. Hi. So, yeah, I guess, 90 seconds here? Go for another 90 seconds here. Because I think I should be coming up to the top of the hour. Or, yeah, I'm coming up to the top of the hour anyways. I didn't want to make this one too long. So, what can I summarize or in a nutshell about creating? Just do it. Just do it. Just go do it. Regardless if you fail, regardless how successful it is, you're gaining more experience. It's increasing your kind of problem solving thinking of it, where you're not stuck in this rut inside the circle, inside the box, where you can think outside of the perceived box, where you can give a different perspective of it and be like, hey, that worked. Or it might help, for example. That's awesome, Jace. That's awesome, man. So yeah, hopefully, Greg, you're doing pretty good for yourself too. I haven't seen you around in a while. It's cool that you dropped in. I appreciate it. Alright, so I'll take one more minute here so everyone can say their nice see you later, some goodbyes and all that stuff. So you guys want to say something? I'll leave it for a minute here. As I get ready to wrap up this live stream here. My outro is gonna come in the next 30 seconds here. So I guess, what can I say? Well, I guess there's not much more I could say. Except for, well, I'll say it again. No matter who you are, your age, gender, or race, you all can create something. And hopefully it's positive. So, outro time. As the world changes, so must oneself. To reach a new level of skill and knowledge, one must practice. A single person can't help everyone in this world. But one person, that includes you, CR, whoever it is, can help someone in this world. Until the next video and live stream for me, it's peace out from that guy that's always in creation mode and supporting creativity and creating and all that problem solving stuff and all that stuff. It's peace out from CR, and I'll catch you next time. And thank you, and take care.